The Le Mans 24 Hours is the single most important and prestigious race in the whole of motorsport. They've been holding this race since 1923, and each year it attracts 250,000 spectators who come to watch teams such as Audi, Peugeot, Ferrari, Aston Martin and Porsche do battle on 13.6 kilometers of sacred asphalt.
Back in 2007, I became the first Hong Kong driver to race at Le Mans. Since then, racing with Flexbox, we've been all over the world, to events such as the Daytona 24 Hours, where we almost won our class, to the Nürburgring 24 Hours, which we did win, to the inaugural Singapore Grand Prix in the Porsche Carrera Cup, and scoring an FIA World Championship point in the World Touring Car Championship at Macau. So for 2009, we decided to return to Le Mans and to do it properly. No more GT cars, this time a Lola prototype, with a 500 horsepower turbocharged engine run by the German team Kruse Schiller Motorsport. To prepare, I tested at Magny-Cours in March and raced at Barcelona in April and Spa-Francorchamps in May. So by mid-June we were ready for the greatest adventure of our lives. My co-drivers for the 24 Hours of Le Mans, a former F1 star Hideki Noda from Japan, and Frenchman Jean de Pourtales.
It's very tense now as we come to the last moments of this Thursday night qualifying session. Yesterday, during Wednesday's pre-practice sessions, I went through the pits and spoke to some of the lead contenders to find out just what it takes to win here at the Le Mans 24 Hours.
In short, a good, efficient race car, reliable and fast, a fantastic crew which has prepared the car and do efficient, good pit stop, and making sure to foresee any potential challenges. 2 or plus me, very good race drivers, try to be consistent and fast, get on well together, be honest, and stay on the track. So all these things blended into a cocktail.
It's a question you should ask my dad. I've obviously never won so far, but as I saw my dad doing when I was little, he was training a lot, he was 100% committed, and even more. He considered every single detail. He tried to let the least space for improvisation, and obviously it worked.
This weather, I worry about this weather, but yeah, we have to keep running and keep consistent. Yeah, that's the most important thing.
We've won it as a team for the last 2 years in GT1. And it's, I think it's just as important about the drivers doing their job on the circuit. But certainly in 009 for the last 2 years, the cars spent the least amount of time in the pit lane compared to everyone out of all the 55 cars. So it's just as important that the guys do a cracking job in the pit stop.
Well, these days it takes perfection, to be honest. The last 2 years with Aston Martin we won, and we had 2 absolutely perfect races. We were racing against Corvette. They also had virtually a perfect race, and we won within the lap. So that's the type of perfection you have to have.
There was a long time between my first victory and second victory where I thought, did I really know what it took to get to the end of Le Mans? And to be honest with you, I think it's exactly the same as what it's always been. You know, you've got to have what a lot of people call lady luck, and to be honest, I don't believe in that. I actually think it's just hard work, dedication, preparing for the eventualities that might never occur in your total lifetime here. Being fast, being consistent, and keeping out of the pits and driving the wheels off that car right now from the start to the finish.
A lot of preparation work, luck, and a very heavy right foot.
Over the last few days, a number of the leading lights in this race have taken time out to give me their perspective on this wonderful event.
It's a legendary race. I mean, if you talk about the most important races on the planet, you talk about Indy 500, you talk about Formula 1 Monaco, and you talk, of course, about Le Mans.
It's definitely the biggest win for me in my career, and it's a special feeling. It's happened once in a year. It's not like a Formula Championship where if you do have a bad result, in the next 2 weeks you have another race. It's happened only one time a year, and you have to be 100%.
It's always been one of my objectives to be racing in Le Mans. I think I'm fulfilling it a bit earlier than I expected, but definitely it's a very special race for me. I've always seen the old Mazdas and the old Porsches going down the Mulsanne straight at 400 kilometers per hour, and I wondered how that was, and well, I'll find out very soon.
You're becoming well known now as a racing driver, but you are sometimes better known as an actor, and you're not the first actor to come here to Le Mans.
Oh yeah, the comparisons all week, and just to be mentioned with McQueen and Paul Newman, and McQueen never raced here, but he made the movie, who's just sort of blew the doors off of what this whole place is about. And I think if you look at those cars and the shots that he had, you knew he was a racer. I don't think there's much of a narrative in that story, but the technology at the time, the energy. I was sitting in the trailer last night and I could just hear the announcer, right? And I'm in this little trailer that's kind of like the one in the movie. And I was kind of moved to tears almost because I couldn't believe I was here living this fantasy.
It's everything. It's a dream come true for me. I think this week is one of the best weeks of my life, and this weekend I'll have the race of my life, so it's tremendous. Yeah, I'm Minister for Science and Defence in the UK government, and I believe I'm the first government minister to ever race at Le Mans.
Hideki, last year on Wednesday pre-practice, you had a very big accident.
It was quite a moment. I never had that kind of accident, you know. I flew, it was in qualifying, and to be honest, it was coming in lap, so I wasn't trying anything hard, but at the end it was my flying lap. You know, we are here this year. This is my revenge, also for the team, so I'm quite looking forward to it.
In 1959, you were part of the victorious Aston Martin squad, and 50 years on, you've seen some changes at the one, I suspect.
Yes, it's complete. The only thing that's the same is a lot of people, but otherwise, I mean, the circuit's still essentially the same, but I had no idea where I am when I'm out there, to tell you the truth. Well, nowadays it's quite different, because I think the great thing about it, I used to hate Le Mans, because it wasn't a race then, it was a Grand Prix of Endurance. I think today it is fantastic, because from the moment the flag falls, they go flat out all the time. So I would really like it now, I must say. I think that's what it's all about.
Okay, well, right now we're in the middle of Le Mans, in the centre of town. It's absolute madness, but look at that, look how good that is. Look how good that is in the white there. That's enough, that's enough. See, and pretty soon there'll be Brazilian girls dancing with very, very tiny bikinis. And really, that's why we come to Le Mans. It's really good fun.
It's a very special race to me, obviously. I was born in the Tertre, so yeah, it's home, you know, very simply, and it's the greatest race of the world, so I think it's really cool to be a part of it.
How does it feel to be India's first driver here at the Le Mans 24 Hours?
Wow, it's a big challenge, and I feel really, nice to be here, and the atmosphere is great, and we have, like, funny teammates like this, makes my life hard, but anyway, it was good.
Compare for me, if you were skiing with driving a racing car at Le Mans.
Yeah, maybe it's quite similar. I think it's maybe the same family of sport. And to avoid every problems we can have with the traffic, with the gravel beds and accident and mechanics, it's really hard to go fast. And it goes really fast. And the cohabitation with the prototype, it's very difficult. So compared to skiing, it's maybe one of the most exciting of the like a good downhill, you know. But a little bit longer, 24 hours than 2 minutes, completely different.
Downforce, power, huge brakes, huge speeds, and then yeah, the racetrack. I mean, you can't compare Le Mans with anything else in the world.
It's a bit like playing a computer game when you're just like in a superior car and you're just flying past them when you're in an LMP car. Because I've done it last time in a GT and it was a completely different experience then. You would think it was easier, but it's very difficult to find clear laps all the time.
Saturday starts early with a warm-up session at 8:30 in the morning. Already the KSM mechanics are exhausted. Yesterday's engine and gearbox change took all night to complete. They've hardly slept. It's been a tough week. Wednesday's practice session was a disaster. The car was badly damaged when Jean crashed at the Dunlop curve. The car feels good this morning, but when I look in my mirrors I can see a lot of smoke, so I return to the pits. There's oil leaking from somewhere and it's catching fire on the hot exhaust pipes and turbocharger in the engine bay. We have to abandon the warm-up so the mechanics can try to fix the leak. The problem is, it only happens when the car is on track, so we now have no way of knowing, before the race starts, whether the cause of the problem has been identified and cured.
Well, hello to you all. This is John Hindorf from Radio Le Mans as we're live at the world's greatest motor race in the build-up to the 77th running of the Grand Prix d'Endurance. Alongside me,
So the odds are against us, but Peugeot looks stronger than ever. They have pole position, as they have the past 2 years, but there's an Audi alongside on the front row, and it's the Allan McNish, Tom Kristensen, Dindo Capello car. Those three have won this race 13 times between them. The undoubted favourite for the 70,000 British fans here is obviously Aston Martin. Decked out in the emotive blue and orange livery of Gulf Oil, their cars look great. Unlike the diesel-powered Audis and Peugeots, the Astons run on petrol, so they sound good too. Winning Le Mans brings enormous commercial benefit. You can't question the value of Audi's decade of investment here. They've been victorious 8 times in the past 9 years. That puts them just one win behind Ferrari, but their last victory was in 1965. Porsche are out front with 16. The pre-race paraphernalia goes on for over an hour, and I don't envy my teammate Jean, who is starting the race and has to hang about on the grid. You can't help but be tense, and it's not made easier by our fears that the oil leak might still exist. On the grid, the race officials want to be sure we're not dropping anything. So it's time for me to hide in the truck now and watch on TV.
Drivers 2x2 formation, remember, 55 starters of the world's greatest motor race. The red lights are still on and now they go green, and Le Mans is go for 2009. And straight into the pit lane, the number 39 Lola Mazda has peeled off.
They had to tighten an oil pipe on the grid. They've got work to do.
But the atmosphere is absolutely fantastic. There is something like 250,000 people out here just enjoying this event, and you can feel it. People are so much into it. They're cheering for their teams, they're cheering for whatever nationality they belong to, and it is just great. On the track, outside the track, around the track, everywhere you feel.
Okay, reset the fuel. Right, everyone, we're going for fuel only. Okay, right. Okay, everyone out of the way. Fire it up. Pit lane's clear to go, clear to go.
Well, being at Le Mans is something different. It's a whole different world. You've got cars going around here with an average speed of 240 kilometers an hour. You've got 250,000 people standing almost next to you. You're able to stand in the pit lane. This is just Mecca. This is heaven.
He's acknowledged that, so we're in the end of this lap. Driver change, fuel, tyres and oil.
It's time for me to drive now. I'm ready.
Guys, push it out. Push it out.
It's good to be in the saddle. We've lost most of the first hour of the race fixing that damn oil leak. That's done now, and Jean says the car feels good. There's no point rushing, we've lost so much time, so the attitude is relaxed, the sun is shining, and it's time to do some fast driving.
Fascinating event. I mean, first of all, the noise itself really, you know, overcomes you, because this is my first race I've been to, really, and it's like a big party, without a doubt. It's like a huge festival. The intensity is tremendous, especially when you're part of a team and you see how they deal with the car. When there's a mechanical, you know, the focus on getting it done, it's really something else.
Hasn't been a great start, but we're still in it, and we keep repairing the car every time it breaks down, and we'll keep fixing it until we can't fix it no more.
This is my 16th year here, and you know, it's the highlight of my whole racing calendar in the year, and you know, it's really difficult to actually put into words because it's a feeling. Such an amazing historical value this place has, and I feel very lucky. You go out there and you try and do your job, but you can't not be aware of the significance of where you are as well.
In 2008, we just looked at it and we realised on paper we were not going to be quick enough, and so we took every strategy risk, every risk on the circuit possible, and it came out our way. And so that's the way we're going into 2009.
Yeah, I've done 7 years now. This is the first time in LMP1, so this year really stands out. And also for Aston Martin, it's their 50th anniversary of winning the race the last time. So it's just the whole of 2009. This is the focus for the year.
Just before my Formula 1 career started, I came for the first time, won it, which only 4 people in total have achieved win at the first attempt. And I'm the youngest winner of that event, so that was a nice moment. But you know, I got the taste of standing on the podium, so I hope I can do that again.
And the atmosphere is tremendous. This is without doubt the best motor race in the world. And I can tell you, last night, driving down the Mulsanne in the dark, full speed, I had a grin from ear to ear. The atmosphere, but also the circuit. The circuit is something else. You're going so fast for so long. It's brilliant.
No, it's fantastic, isn't it? I mean, it is very, very special. If you're not enjoying this, if this isn't, then you shouldn't be a racing driver. I think it's as simple as that.
The engine notes, a lot of crackling on the overrun now, and the oil temperature's gone up a little bit, and the water temperature's gone down. I don't know whether that's relevant to anything. Yeah, pit this lap.
We need to do that, and we need to change the pennant chain because the pennant's leaking.
That leak meant we were losing turbo boost, so the engine was down on power. It's not life-threatening, but it was costing us a few seconds a lap.
Okay, fire it up, headlights up. Headlights clear to go. Clear.
Others are having it worse than us. At half distance, 7 cars have already retired. 1 ran out of fuel, others were much more dramatic.
Matthew, to help make sure we get to the end, we can help the engine by going to map 8. We can help the engine by going to map 8.
Benoit Treluet has been extracted from the car. He was conscious, it says, and he's been taken to the medical centre for an inspection.
This is my second time at Le Mans, but only now am I starting to really understand what this circuit is all about. It's about high-speed driving. You need to be in a prototype really to get it. And I've been so fortunate to drive an LMP2 car here, 500 plus horsepower. Fabulous. Even at night, the circuit is just absolutely fantastic. The speeds are enormous. And it's just extraordinary going down the Mulsanne straight, braking at about 100 metres from almost 300 kilometres an hour into the chicanes. The high-speed section going through the Porsche curves is just extraordinary. It's a racing driver's dream.
really struggling. I've lost a lot of power. I'm down to about 150 horsepower. I'm in third gear on the Mulsanne. I'll have to come in this lap.
Pitch this lap, pitch this lap.
I could feel the engine losing power. The exhaust manifold basically broke in half, so we had no turbo at all. The KSM crew just shrugged and set to work. They soon had it welded up. With all the problems we've had and fixed, we're hoping we can see the finish line.
Crew, 3 laps until we stop.
For the final 90-minute stint, Hideki will drive the car. It will be topped up with oil before he gets in. Amazingly, we're running 5th in the LMP2 class.
We went home to sleep 4 hours last night, and I actually kind of wish that we didn't, that we got the full experience. I had a fantastic experience coming here and wouldn't want to be without it, that's for sure.
We have another problem in the pit lane, and this, KSM. I'm afraid, is the KSM car again. Oh, and that's gone up in flames, and very quickly, one of the marshals at the pit lane has got in there, and there is some fluid. That's not just oil fire there, that's something being pumped onto a hot exhaust.
The Kruse Schiller corpse is being wheeled in front of me, and I think they've used all the extinguisher powder in the whole of France on it.
So, our battle against the odds is lost. Hideki didn't get his revenge, the mechanics haven't slept since Friday, and emotions and tears run free. But this is Le Mans. We came, to paraphrase John Kennedy, not because it is easy, but because it is hard. That's why Peugeot came back, despite being beaten twice by Audi. That's the point of the adventure that is the Le Mans 24 Hours.
David Brabham, a phenomenal name in motor racing. David's brother won here in a Peugeot, and David's father, Sir Jack, drove here for Matra. This is the moment. The marshals are on the edge of the circuit. The checkered flag is out. 3 o'clock is past here in France, and Peugeot win Le Mans 2009. Listen to the crowds. This is quite remarkable. All of France is watching this on TV. And 230,000 people are going mad.
Such an amazing historical value this place has, and I feel very lucky. You go out there and you try and do your job, but you can't not be aware of the significance of where you are as well.